Hi there! Welcome to Permit How To, a non-government public service video channel sharing information about the building permit process in Glendale, California. This is the third video in a series aimed at helping the public better understand zoning. The prior videos explained the building permit process in Glendale, when zoning review gets conducted, and what zoning is. In this video, I will show you how to navigate Glendale's zoning code by walking you through a document that outlines the basic parts of Glendale's zoning code. Make sure to download your own copy by checking the comments. The zoning code has many zones and many rules based on different situations, so the best way to explore it is in the context of a specific site. Therefore, the first step is to look up an address and see what zone it is in. Fortunately, the city offers a website where the public can check what the zone is for any address. A link is provided in the document, or you can go to www.glendaleca.gov/researchproperty and click on zoning information. Once you enter an address, you will be shown the property. Click on it and look at the zone name. The first abbreviation indicates the zone. R means residential, C means commercial, I means industrial, etc. There are several subtypes of each zone, indicating different levels of development intensity. So in R zones, the lowest intensity are single-family zones, with ROS representing residential open space, R1R representing restricted hillside development, and R1 representing typical single-family development, usually on flat terrain. Then, there are multifamily residential zones, each indicating the number of housing units allowed on the site. For example, R3050 allows 1 unit for every 3,050 square feet of parcel area, R2250 allows 1 unit for every 2,250 square feet of parcel area, and so on. The second number indicates the height district in commercial zones, a smaller number representing a lower allowed building height. And in single-family zones, the number indicates the floor area ratio district. The floor area ratio is simply the amount of building area that is allowed as a proportion of the parcel size, which affects the overall size of the building. Floor area ratio, District 1, allows smaller buildings than District 3. The next part of the zoning designation to look for is an overlay zone, usually 2 or 3 letters. This means there is a special zoning code chapter that applies to the site in addition to the usual zoning code chapters. The most common overlay zone is HD for Historic District. Sometimes a property has not yet been assigned HD, but it may be soon. Make sure to check this, as even pending districts have historic preservation restrictions. This can be checked by visiting www.glendaleca.gov/researchproperty and clicking on Historic Preservation. Now that we know the zone, we will go to step 2, which is to check some basic site conditions that affect how the zoning rules apply to the site. Make sure to keep notes of each of your findings in this section, so you can use them later when reviewing the zoning code. First, go to the Los Angeles County Assessor's parcel map site to check the building and parcel size. When you check the building size and number of units, keep in mind that even unpermitted units and floor area may be listed on the assessor's site, so make sure to verify permitted conditions through city building permit records, which can be obtained at www.glendaleca.gov/researchproperty by clicking on Permit Records. When checking the parcel size, make sure to check it on the actual assessor parcel map. Do not use the number listed on the assessor's website. So how do we find this number on the assessor parcel map? First, notice the last 3 digits of the assessor parcel number, which is also called the assessor's ID number. Then click on the link to open the map and look for that number that is inside of a circle. For irregular shaped lots, the parcel size is usually written somewhere within the boundaries of the parcel shape. For regular shaped lots, the lot size can be determined by multiplying the parcel width and length. One thing to look out for is when different lots are joined together with tie lines or split apart with dashed lines. It is possible these lot splits and lot mergers were not approved by the city, so make sure to verify with the city what the correct parcel outline is. Now that we know the number of units, the building size, and the parcel size, we should check a few other site features that could be affected by zoning rules. Go to www.glendaleca.gov/researchproperty and click on Specialty Maps. First, check the Hillside Slopes map for a rough estimate of the hillside slope, which in some cases will need to be verified by a survey. Then check the liquefaction, etc. map and look for any blue line streams near the parcel or any protected ridgeline areas that overlap the parcel. If so, then Chapter 16 of the Glendale Municipal Code will need to be consulted. Then determine if the site has any protected trees, which are generally California oak, bay, or sycamore. Check glendaleTrees.org for more information. Now that we have explored basic site conditions, we will start reviewing the zoning code rules. Step 3. If a change to the parcel outline is proposed, either by splitting it or by merging it with another parcel, then Title 16 of the Glendale Municipal Code usually needs to be consulted. However, there are new state laws being passed that allow splitting and merging lots in different ways than what is covered in Title 16, so make sure to check with the city about what you would like to do. And finally, Step 4 is to access the zoning code. Go to www.glendaleca.gov/GMC and click on Title 30. Step 5, and the first part of reviewing the zoning code, is to review key definitions, because many words used in the zoning code have very specific meanings that may not match with general definitions. Some key definitions to check are height, floor area, lot coverage, story, grade, building, structure, attached, detached, accessory building or structure, etc. You do not need to memorize the definitions, but you do need to know when special definitions apply in order to correctly interpret the zoning code. Step 6 is to go to the zoning code chapter corresponding to the zone you looked up earlier. Step 7 is to notice the different sections of the chapter that will need to be reviewed later, including allowed land uses, development standards, setback exceptions, additional standards, etc. Step 8 is to review the allowed land uses. Again, make sure to check definitions for each one. It is important to do this when reviewing the land use chart, as the uses are very specifically defined in the definitions chapter and may not apply to the project situation once you see the specific description. Check the proposed land use to verify whether it is allowed without any special approvals or whether a special approval is needed, such as a conditional use permit or administrative use permit. If the land use is blank or not listed, it means it is not allowed. If any special standards apply to the use, check the related chapter. Make sure to pay attention to any footnotes. Step 9 is to review the development standards table. Find the zone and then follow that column down to see which standards apply in that zone. Make sure to read all the text, the footnotes, and any reference chapters. When reviewing the parking section, make sure to check the definitions again. For example, restaurant has 3 different definitions that each have different parking requirements. Also, make sure to check the notes, as sometimes a land use will be lumped under a more general category. An advanced tip is to look at the ordinance adoption dates at the end of each code section to see the most recent change. If any date is later than the date of this video, make sure to verify current rules on the city's website or with city staff. Step 10 is to review the additional standards section of the chapter, setback exceptions, and any other sections in the chapter. Step 11 is to review any applicable overlay zone as identified in the background research section. Step 12 is to review Chapter 30.30 for site planning features, such as fences and walls, rooftop equipment, trash collection areas, and lighting. Also, check for any other zoning code chapters that may apply to the particular project. Step 13 is to address any existing site conditions that do not comply with code, particularly if they are unpermitted or are proposed to be changed. Verify through city building permit records whether the feature is permitted or not. Then consult Chapter 30.60. Step 14 is to review options for relief from code standards when some part of the proposed project is not able to comply with the zoning code standards. Review the chart in the document and consult with city staff. The most important part of reviewing these options is the required findings of fact, which are facts that have to be proven by the applicant in order for staff to support granting the relief from code. And there you have it. Now you have been introduced to the basics of how to navigate Glendale's zoning code. Make sure to check the comments for any updates to this video. And feel free to leave a comment if you have any suggestions for other video topics you would like to see on this channel. The next videos in this series will discuss design review in Glendale and more. Hope to see you there.